ERC-8004, and all the numbers that are in the unlimited number of pi, all the digits we'll cover today. But yeah, Web3 is changing because of the agentic future introduced by OpenServ. I'm joined here today by Lucas Hafner, Tim Hafner, and Ian. How are we doing today, gentlemen?
Doing very well.
Doing well.
Great week last week. Let's keep it rolling. All right, let's have another stream talking about. We have too much content, too many announcements coming out. If you missed last week, well, then you missed an entirely new project emerging here. We've got the X04, X402 integration to all these numbers, right? We've got the SERV flywheel popping off. The Dome partnership happened last week. We launched our roadmap, our tokenomics, and don't forget about our autonomous trading competition and the launch of aICM. It's going to be the dawn of the agentic internet capital markets. And yes, last but not least, the tokenization platform. We're all going to cover it all briefly here today. But let's talk about X402 and ERC-8004, the numbers that are taking Web3 by storm. OpenServ's integrated both of them, already working with Base and Ethereum, respectively, on real workflows, real demos. Tim, you want to kick us off with what this all means and how we should all keep it in the back of our minds?
Yeah, sure. I think it's at a high level, it's simple but powerful. So agents don't, like, just as themselves before pre-X402, have no way to basically go out and access services, and particularly data. And we're faced with that problem on our own system at OpenServ, where we either have, there's basically two solutions for getting agents the data they need. We either set up the integrations and require every user to plug in their own API key, which is terrible. It sucks ass. Like, every user would then, for every integration, they'd have to go and buy their own subscription, get the API key, and then plug it in, which is terrible UX. The other option is we buy our own subscription and make it available to our users, which also kind of sucks because, one, it doesn't scale very well. You know, each subscription, like API subscription, has rate limits generally. And then everything's bottlenecked by OpenServ having to buy and fund every single integration. And we need something more scalable, and X402 literally solves that problem. So now we can just, like, really quickly set up the baseline integration, and every agent in our system with a wallet attached will be able to basically contact or basically access those the services from the API, get data, get payloads sent over to the agent, and just pay for each little request. So pay per use, pay per task, and little micro payments. They all run on Base at like 1/10 of a cent per transaction for the transaction cost. And it's huge. Like, it's huge. We can scale our integrations much better. It solves this kind of shitty workaround solution we had where we're buying all the API subscriptions ourselves. And for that, it's massive. And, you know, as we're taking a more zoomed out view, so we now have agents that can handle payments, and we're also enabling on-chain agents that can handle funds and transact for you, to access services, to make trades for you, to handle your capital for you. And what does that need, right? Like, what does that require? It requires a trust layer, a layer where you can identify, validate, and basically score the reputation of different agents in this new environment, right? Like, we're basically creating this new environment for transaction and funds to flow between different entities, and we need a trust layer for that that's native to agents, and that's what 8004 is. And it's something that we've been taking very seriously since it came out only a few weeks ago. Went out to an Ethereum event here in London a couple weeks ago, and met with the one of the authors of the paper, Davide, which was great. Currently chatting with the team how we can best integrate it, looking at a demo day in Dev Connect as well, seeing what we can make work there. But it's a you know, it'll start with a small implementation, but it's a much larger thing that you know, is going to really have a big impact on the system we're scaling towards, and we want to make sure we're doing it right. And the great thing is that the system we've set up, like, it again, it's coming back to this theme that this core pillar we've had since the very beginning, is we want to create our own sort of proprietary tech. We want to create it in a way that we can basically grow with other innovations in the space. So we don't have to innovate on every single front. We can do research and development and innovation on the fronts where we have expertise in, where we have unique insights into, and we can integrate other people's innovations that happen externally. So, these are things that we don't have to do ourselves. We can let, great teams like Coinbase, like the Ethereum Foundation, come up with these like other foundational components of this new agentic economy, and we bring it all under one roof and give it a place to actually live in an open, permissionless system. So yeah, it's really exciting to be kind of at the home of all of this innovation and become one of the early and premier adopters of these new technologies, because we actually have something that's ready to deploy it in and basically give them value. So yeah, that's my take.
That's crazy.
Yeah, kind of covered it all, huh? Wrap it up there,
yeah,
folks.
seriously, we're all done. Bye, everybody. Lucas, maybe you could tell us a little bit about ERC-8004 from your perspective. Some people have been talking about identity and reputation standard for agents, or it being vital for handling data and funds because Ethereum is super secure, super safe to use.
I just think it's a super important thing that factors into a lot of different areas. I think you look at, for example, credit score for somebody borrowing capital. It's important that you're able to assess their ability to repay that loan. You need to, through a number of different metrics, verify their trust level. And anything involving payments fundamentally requires trust, right? You're giving money and you're expecting a service in return. And I think anytime there is the exchange of money involved, reputation is arguably the most important thing. You go to your friend, you ask your friend every single week, can I have $20? And you never pay him back. And then you ask him again and again and again. Eventually he's going to say like, all right, I'm not going to give you the money anymore because I don't trust you. Versus if you're constantly paying someone back, you give them interest, maybe you give them a gift every time you borrow from them. Well, all of a sudden now they're going to want to lend more to you. And they would probably tell their friends, yeah, this guy's good for the money. And I think scaling that system up to something like the agentic economy with the size and the amount of value that's going to transact with that in that economy, I think trust is not only important, but might be more important than in any other sector possible, just because of the pure scale that we're going to see here.
That's wild. So ERC-804 basically gives agents a kind of an on-chain, like that credit score example is really good. And so it lets them prove who they are, build trust, handling money or data. Really, really important, because I'm not sure if I trust an agent to use my money or my crypto yet. But maybe in the future on OpenServ. So
yeah. I think there's actually a very unique thing about agents there is that they can read and digest your information, but if they don't store it, they don't actually remember it. So I think there's actually a very unique thing that agents can do that humans can't, where trust is even more important, where you can have sensitive data that you don't want anybody else to see. And if this thing doesn't collect it, it's essentially like it's blind in a way, or it can take an action based on the information and then forget what that information is. And I think number one, that's a very unique thing that humans can't really do, just because if I read a document with a bunch of sensitive information, I can't just Men in Black wipe my brain. But I think, given the utility that it has, I think trust is even more important than anywhere else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think particularly in our system, it's kind of an absolute necessary, right? Like we're moving towards, or we're already there, but going to continue moving towards a place where people can easily build on-chain products, on-chain apps, on-chain autonomous systems that transact for you, do e-commerce for you, and even manage your funds for you, right? Like right now we've set up an entire autonomous trading competition on our system where agents are trading between each other, and users are going to be able to create these things themselves. They're going to be able to create their own trading automations, fund management automations, and basically create their own tokenized on-chain funds, which is where the aICM part gets really interesting. But these are all going to be happening from sort of like composable building blocks. So building blocks and agents that you can remix, that come from third-party contributors. And the way to really make that work is with a reputation and trust layer. Are they going to be reliable? What's the uptime like? And is it going to steal my money? Yes or no? Those are the three questions to answer. And having that layer embedded is absolutely key, and it's going to be a huge unlock for this system we're working towards.
Okay, so as Lucas said, ERC-804 gives agents that kind of on-chain reputation, like a credit score for machines. It remembers you, it reasons with a strong memory, it has logs, these are auditable. And it's what Tim is saying, and just said earlier as well, ties right into how x402 solved the payment side. So we got the payment side, we got the trust side. We basically got agents that can pay, earn trust, and soon they'll be able to compete and trade using that data. If somebody could please briefly explain Open Arena and this trading competition we have right now between agents, that'd be great. Ian, maybe you can pick it up and give everyone an update on what's happening inside Open Arena.
Yeah, I think so. Within Open Arena, you have these agents custodying funds and taking different sides of prediction markets at the moment. So that will expand out to other markets, but for right now, just in the very short term, we're focused on prediction markets. So these are agents that are going and betting on markets that are resolving within a short period of time across sports specifically. So this weekend we saw them betting on football. Then this week we'll see them betting on the World Series, right? So like across all of these events that are happening, kind of like within sports, they're looking to come out the other side profitable and make decisions and like figure out exactly when to buy, sell, and like remove themselves from the trade, right? So yeah, I think if anyone else wants to add a little bit more color to it, that's like essentially what we're building.
Yeah. I mean, well, for me, it's like super exciting as a research initiative, right? Like we're already seeing like the N of 1 competition, seeing how agents can trade on sort of like 24/7 trading, like 24/7 markets like Bitcoin and whatever other cryptocurrencies that are on like hyperliquid. But what hasn't really been trialed yet is how they can perform in prediction markets. It's a totally new space. It's a different type of market, right? Like it's not a 24/7 trading market because it's something that it's a market that resolves, right? It's like almost like an options, right? You either win or you lose at the end of the sort of like market cycle. And which introduces like an entirely different dynamic, which is a super interesting part of research is can agents find or extract basically statistical anomalies and edge between what's being presented on the current odds? Can they use their own intellect and intuition to figure out, to find edge? And can they use their tools, right? Like, so I think today the lads working on it in the lab added web crawling functionality. So now the models, the base models like Claude, GPT-5, Qwen, DeepSeek, we've now given them the tools to go and search the web and see if they can use their own research capabilities to spot basically arbitrage opportunity between what's being shown at the current market and what they believe the implied probability of winning is. And they can act on that, which is like conceptually a fucking awesome thing to run and see how we can learn from LLMs and how we can expand their capabilities, right? Like how we can use this experiment and this information to inform strategies in the future that will then ultimately live as things on our platform, right? Like people will be able to, or I mean, they already can, but especially as we're coming out with our full no-code on-chain system, people will be able to create their own autonomous trading systems here, their own autonomous funds that are trading on Polymarket, ingesting data, going out and doing research, calculating if there's an edge or any markets that's mispriced markets, and it's all really fucking exciting. And I know today the guys implemented a memory feature where the agents or the models are storing each of their previous sort of like decisions and their decision tree, and they're using that to learn based on the outcomes of the bets they're making. So we now have self-learning, self-improving agents that are autonomously trading funds, which is really exciting. And we have the dashboard coming out, I believe, tomorrow. I don't want to say it too hard because things never go as you think. The timelines always get skewed around, but we're almost there on the dashboard side of things, just hooking up all the data feeds. We're going to have reasoning logs. Everyone can check out the prompts and the strategies being deployed. And up next, we're going to be running it on Hyperliquid as well, seeing how they compare. And then obviously integrating Braid into the picture and seeing how we can, if and how we can improve financial trading models with our Braid architecture. I mean, to me, it's kind of a no-brainer and seems like it could be the product market fit for Braid and we'll find out on the
Spectacular.
on the open
That's
stage.
That's marvelous, because there's nothing else like this happening in the world. Just so to recap for everyone else before we close out, what Tim and Ian are describing here is the world's first self-learning trading lab, essentially, for AI agents. These agents are pulling live data. If you saw our live stream with Dome last week and Karush, our Dome partnership and integration connects them directly to markets like Polymarket and Kalshi. So permissionless, real data flowing into real trades. Each agent is making decisions. They're remembering those decisions, analyzing the outcomes, adapting here as well. And so the important part is this loops back into the bigger system, right? I mean, because every trade, every fund, and every launch feeds back into our aICM flywheel. So that's the tokenization layer of OpenServ that's turning these autonomous experiments into on-chain projects. And your projects, you should launch one if you're watching this. So Lucas and Tim, to close us out, maybe you can talk a bit about how that aICM layer ties all this together, how it connects with what's happening here in Open Arena and the upcoming, launch pad, for lack of a better term, and the SERV economy as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, I see the.
End it.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I see the overlap as this. We're not trying to build another launch pad. We're trying to create a place where AI native businesses, the next generation of businesses, can spawn. I think automated trading, I think automated funds, agentic funds, I think are one really, really interesting subdomain or subcategory of an AI native business. And I think it's one that, we've seen with the interest on Alpha Arena and our own interest on Open Arena. That's a really, really
Which is the name of our competition.
Sorry, yes.
Open Arena is the name.
Did I just drop it? Are we supposed to do like a 3-month teaser, campaign? Soon.
We didn't announce the announcement yet.
Announcement of the announcement. All right, train of thought.
My bad. Sorry.
No, you're good. All right. Oh yeah. Essentially, so aICM is our vision for the launchpad, for lack of a better term, for the new generation of AI native businesses. I think we see a lot of interest and a lot of traction and a lot of applicability of the research we've already done into these automated trading strategies. I think agentic funds it's a reality. It's going to come. Agents can trade faster and more efficiently than people. What we still have to get to is the point where they're doing that reliably and at a high enough margin for it to really deliver significant value. I think the experiments like Alpha Arena, like what we're trying to do with Open Arena, are going to accelerate us to that point where we can discover what strategies work. We can also apply that to other domains. Okay, we know that creating this decision tree and using this terminology really gets us the best results in this finance arena. Well, we can take that learning and apply it to agents who help you run your sales pipeline and run your marketing. Like, I think there's a lot of applicability to what we're doing. And for me, the tokenization part really plays in by giving people a way to raise funding, raise attention, bring people into the network that you're building. I think tokenized agent funds are really the first area. I think we have a lot of other areas that are exciting that are going to come out soon and afterwards. I think we're already speaking to a few projects that are really excited about launching with us that overlap with our goals and our ambitions. But essentially, we're creating an AI economy here. X402 is a part of that. ERC-8004 is a part of that. The Launchpad's a part of that. Tokenized trading, tokenized agentic funds, all of these things make part of the new agentic economy that we're building. And it's just super exciting to be here at the forefront of this technology.
Well,
and see it happen in real time. Like, we're watching, emergent behavior. This is all ground. We're breaking new ground here, and we're doing it out in the open, in public, which is.
And we actually, what's funny is Tim, Arman, and I, like around a year ago today, we actually designed an agent-based game, like a kind of MOBA like Dota or League of Legends, but instead agents play for you. And before you start the game, you can give in a system prompt, you can choose its abilities, and then let them play against each other. And we thought, hey, creating a game, creating an arena is like a very accessible way for people to contribute to like this collective knowledge and share their strategies, and they can see what works and it's fun and people engage in it, and we can collect all this data that allows us to create better models and better decisions. And I think what we're doing now here with Open Arena and what Alpha Arena has paved the way for is another large scale experiment where we can leverage the entire community and everyone who wants to participate to increase the power of these models.
Yeah, and I think it's worth noting too that like X402 and ERC-8004 are like necessary to make this happen, and also speed up the velocity at which like data is consumed and services are purchased, right? Like when you enable micro transactions like that, it's like a pay-as-you-go system versus like, you know, what we described earlier, which is just like a, you know, subscription for data that creates those bottlenecks. So I would anticipate like the, you know, the velocity of these experiments kind of like increasing as like x402 continues to be adopted and ERC-8004 continues to be adopted. Like that's going to be probably a hard trend that we see. So calling it right now. But
we got to find a better way to refer to these things. Every time I say x402, then ERC-8004, like we need to find a better term.
I have to like practice it in my head before I say it.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
I miss the days of
super cool.
I miss the days of Sum 41 in the 90s, and other bands were all numbers. 9
Great
inch
times, great times.
Yeah, I wouldn't know, but sure.
So yeah, that's a perfect way to bring it all together. So we've got the full picture. You know, x402 is giving agents the ability to pay. All right, and 8004 from ERC is giving them trust and identity. And our aICM is turning all of that into living on-chain economies through SERV. So from payments to prediction markets, trading agents, tokenized launches, it's all converging inside OpenServ right now on our platform. So thank you so much, Tim, Lucas, Ian, everyone watching, keeping us honest and keeping up with this crazy pace. If you missed any of the updates, x402 integration done, Dome partnership, upcoming launch of the tokenization platform. They're all live on our X and Discord. Please join. We're almost at 3,000 members. We just crossed 15,000 people on X. I mean, we're exploding right now, but we're still keeping everything very focused and very simple for you. We'll be back soon with more demos and the next big release. So until then, keep building, keep experimenting, and we'll see you all in the next stream.